You have to feel for Chris Hipkins as a person, don't you? As a boss, fresh from dealing with the shootings in downtown Auckland on the eve of the FIFA Women's World Cup, a few days later, he then has to deal with one of the few remaining ministers formerly known to be competent, self-destructing in spectacular fashion. The former Justice Minister, Kiri Allan, resigned this morning after being charged with reckless driving and resisting arrest in Wellington last night. She was taken into police custody after the crash on Evans Bay Parade at 9 last night, was held at the police station and released from custody just after 1 a.m. She returned a breath test just over the legal limit, sufficient for an infringement notice to be served should the police be of a mind to, but they weren't, which is apparently quite common with breath tests that are just marginally over the lowered limit. It's not like the old breath testing of yesteryear where you had to be ripped to the tits and out to lunch before you'd be charged. These days it's a much lower standard. Probably thought she had quite enough to be dealing with reckless driving and resisting arrest. Anyway, Chris Hipkins says he spoke with Allan first thing this morning and advised her he didn't believe she was in a fit state to hold a ministerial warrant. Kiri Allan said she accepted that her position as a minister is untenable and that she was heading home to the East Coast and will take time to consider her future in politics. Now, I know it's probably an unpopular thing to say, but I really liked the cut of Kiri Allan's jib. I only had dealings with her through the wireless and conducting interviews with her, but she was so refreshing. After one interview, I was moved to say, my God, it's just so wonderful to deal with somebody who answers questions, who doesn't do the whole bureau speak. I think that was when she was Civil Defence Minister. I have no idea what it would be like to report to her, or clearly some people within the public service found it difficult. And it's also clear that she has been struggling with her job or succession of ministerial portfolios for some time. Last month she wrote, "Over the past few weeks I've really been struggling with mental health and wellness, triggered by personal circumstances as well as other external things, like the cyclones having such a massive impact on our entire region." She wrote, "Sometimes things accumulate. I hit the wall a few weeks ago. I kept going, showing up to events, smiling, giving speeches. But about a week ago, I had to be pretty honest with myself that I needed to put my mental well-being at the forefront of my focus." So that was back at the beginning of June. It's now nearly the end of July. In his statement, the PM said, "I recently provided Kiri the opportunity to address her mental health issues. After taking some time out, I believe she was okay and was assured by her that she was." Well, it's pretty obvious that she isn't. I mean, I don't think you can say in 4 weeks you'll come right. And also, she's a team player. She would have known there was absolutely nobody else to do her job. The few competent ministers, or formerly known as competent ministers, in this government are already overworked, holding a number of ministerial portfolios. She was Conservation and Emergency Management Minister, then she was Justice and Regional Development, and then she was Associate Finance, and then Transport. Because Wood is incompetent. So he had to hand them over to Kiri Allan, who has become incompetent because she was overworked. That's a lot of information to get your head around, especially if you want to do a good job. I just... Does anyone have confidence in this government? I mean, even members of the government must be starting to lack confidence in their own management. If I was Hipkins, I'd throw in the towel and say, you know what? We're not doing this right. I don't have enough good people to steer the good ship New Zealand. It does feel like a rudderless ship, lurching and listing towards the election. Who would you describe as competent to be in charge of multi-billion-dollar portfolios? I know it's only a few months to the election, but there's no guarantees that any one party is going to form the next government. What is it about, it just seems in the last few years that people are being elected to Parliament who are really struggling. And that's on all sides of the House. Not just this lot. Is it the nature of the job, the nature of people right now, social media? God, I don't know. Anyway, how many months to the election? 3. A rudderless ship for 3 months. What could possibly go wrong?